Hello and welcome to the London Bulls podcast with me, Tom, and the legend that is Mr. KD Wright. KD, how are we today, mate? You well?
Really good to see you, mate. But there's an even bigger legend with us on this call, as you can see, Mr. Toumani Diagouraga.
Yeah, what a legend. Tim, how are you, mate? You well?
Yeah, I'm very good. Yourself?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. So excited to have you on the podcast today. Just so much love when we announced that you were coming on. Lots of people said what a legend you were, how good you were, and there were several people who wanted you to sign again. So see if you could put your boots back on, see if you were still fit. So, obviously that's all to come. So obviously a fantastic career in the Football League, 529 league appearances. I mean, that's no mean feat. When you started out in football, did you think that you would ever sort of get to those sorts of numbers? Did you ever feel like you were going to have a career like that?
I was hoping for it. I was dreaming for it. So I was going to do everything in my power to try and do it. So that, I achieved that. I'm really pleased with it. But there's also a part of me who thinks could have been more. So
Dreams Tombs. You were from Paris?
Yeah.
Nice. So tell us about your kind of early life in France. Like, who were your kind of heroes growing up? Who were you looking up to as a kid?
I think I was looking a lot at my uncles. So I grew up with my uncles. So my family, I think there's about 7 of us, me being one of the youngest, but 5 of them played professional football before me.
Okay.
So some played in Italy. One of my uncle actually turned down Man United to go to Italy a couple of years before I came to England. So football's always been in my family, in the blood. So they were the ones I was looking up to, and just to make me believe actually it is possible.
Yeah. Who was your kind of first club in France? Where did it all start out for you?
At Corbeil, which was a local club where all my uncles started. So I just played for the local team until I was about 13.
Yeah.
And then I went to Brittany, which was in England. It'll be like a Cat 1 academy. So where we played your PSGs and Lyon. So it was the highest level of under 13s. So yeah, moved there, and then a couple of years later ended up in England.
Yeah, of course. When you moved to England, Watford, what was that experience like of firstly moving to England, and what did you think of Watford?
I really liked it. I think the experience was tough at times. Not being able to speak the language, obviously different culture, food's different, living in digs with a family that you don't know, you can't really communicate. So there were all barriers that were quite tough. But I also had the mindset of I want to be a professional footballer no matter what. So I've had people asking me before, wow, it's tough coming to England at 16. I said, yeah, but I would have gone to Spain. I would have gone to Portugal.
Yeah.
I would have gone anywhere if it meant I had a chance of being a professional footballer. So you almost came secondary to me, really.
Yeah.
English lessons at the club. Did Watford help with lessons and stuff? Or did you have how did you kind of learn English?
Yeah, I had a teacher for the first 2 years. So twice a week she would come to the stadium and I'll have English lessons. And there was another 2 French players at the club, which also helped.
Yeah, I can imagine. And what were the, what was the academy like there? What did the coaches sort of teach you? How did they help develop you?
I think the academy was really good. We had really good coaches, and really they were just developing us all round to be better footballers and on the ball, off the ball. So it was a very well-rounded academy, which a lot of us benefited from.
Yeah. And how was the adjustment? You said that if you'd have had the offer, you'd have gone to Spain or Portugal or Italy. But how was the weather coming to England? I suppose Paris is a little bit wet itself, but it's a bit of a different story in England, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think the winters definitely colder, but like I said, it was one of them where because I wanted to be a professional footballer, I was just getting on with whatever was in front of me. I didn't want to let anything distract me from trying to achieve my dreams.
Your drive is really inspiring, teams. You had a really good kind of spell with the academy at Watford. I think you reached the FA Cup youth quarterfinals, didn't you? And
Yeah,
it was rumoured Chelsea were actually looking at you. Did they kind of approach you? Did you know of their interests at the time? I think their assistant manager, Steve Clark, came and watched you actually. What was the kind of situation with Chelsea?
I did know about it.
Yeah.
I got told about it by my agent, but at the time I also got offered a 4-year pro contract with Watford.
Yeah.
So it was a case of, and because I was in and around the first team, even though I wasn't playing, before I made my debut, I probably was with the first team for about 8 months, just traveling with the first team, not being on the bench, but being the 19th man if you want. So I think to me, it was more important to be closer to the first team than going to Chelsea and be in the under 17 team or the under 18 team.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I probably stayed at Watford.
Yeah. Was it Adi Boothroyd at the time? Was the manager?
Ray Lewington was
Ray
the one
Lewington.
when I first got here, and then Adi Boothroyd
okay.
came after him.
Yeah.
I believe you made your debut against Wolves in the League Cup.
Yeah.
How proud were you kind of, coming on in that game? How special was that moment for you?
Really, really special.
Yeah.
Because I was so young, and it's one of them. Every weekend we used to go and watch the first team. So in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, I'd love to be on the pitch, and you see the crowd and everything. So when that actually happened, I was really, really proud.
Yeah, I can imagine. And obviously Watford were doing well at that time and ended up getting promoted to the Premier League. What obviously you say, you started to get into the team a little bit and you were around the team a little bit. Did you think, here we go, this could be my chance here? Work hard and I could get into this team, or had you already had conversations that were slightly different to that?
No, I didn't have no conversations. I knew it was going to be tougher because if you get promoted to the Premier League or if you get promoted from any league, you'll end up buying more players.
Yeah.
If you get relegated as a young player, you probably have more chance of getting to the team because players will leave. So it's always going to be more difficult. But I was just trying to keep my head down, work hard, and see what happened. And I travelled when they were in the Prem. I travelled with the team a few times, and I remember we went to Liverpool away, and Chris Powell was on the bench, and I was 19th man. And he said to me, "Star, just watch Xavi Alonso, like you'll see a masterclass, blah blah." So even though I wasn't involved, I would always pay attention and look at other midfielders and what makes them so good. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting to say about Chris Powell. Obviously, he went on to be a great manager and an assistant manager. I suppose those influences that early on as well to sort of help you. Does obviously you had him, but does that help your development as a young footballer?
100%. I think the older pros at the club were really good with me in terms of making me feel welcome, but also pushing me so I couldn't just rest on my laurels and think, oh, I'm the golden boy. I still had to work hard, but they were all really supportive. So you had Neil Cox, Sean Dyche, Neil Ardley, Micah Hyde, who I used to look up to a lot, used to help me because he was a midfielder. So Marcus Gale. So a lot of them were really helpful. in my development, definitely.
So you obviously moved to England as a young man, and you said you come from a footballing family. Did you have any family that kind of came with you to England? Did you just move out by yourself, or did family come and watch you here and then? Or?
I moved out by myself.
Yeah, okay.
So they all had commitments, whether it's work or so they would come every now and then, but for the mass majority of the time I was by myself.
But it's been quite tough in a way as well, right? You kind of had a footballing family at Watford, as you said. They kind of helped you out and welcomed you, but coming to a new country, new language, it must have been very daunting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and the next stage of your development really then is going out on loan. So you had was it Swindon and Rotherham that you went to? What was that like going out and playing, first team football where people don't care that you're, as you said, like, the sort of golden boy or one of those good players coming out of the academy. This is men's football now, adult football. What was that experience like?
It was good because, like I said, I wanted to play first team football, so it was almost, well, that's what you wanted. It's showtime now. You're on a big stage. You have to try and perform. So I was definitely really excited to go to them loans. The Swindon one went really well, and I still speak to the manager now to this day. I've seen him a few times, but then the Rotherham one was tougher.
Okay.
So I think both of them kind of shaped me for what was to come, the highs and lows of the game. So it was definitely a good learning experience for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then, of course, the next loan is to the greatest club in the world, as I'm sure you'll agree. But obviously, then Hereford United. Had you ever heard of Hereford before? Was this experience? What was the experience like?
If I'm totally honest, I haven't heard much of Hereford before, I think. But like I said, I wanted to play professional football. I wanted to play first team. So when I got told about the interest, I was like, yeah, got nothing to lose. If I want to get myself out there, it doesn't matter where I go as long as I have to perform, really. So I was looking forward to a new challenge and just see where that was going to take me.
When you came to Hereford, was it very similar to Paris? The city. What did you think of the kind of city and the ground and stuff when you arrived?
Pretty similar.
Yeah, very similar. I like that.
But I really enjoyed it, I have to say.
Yeah.
And what were your first impressions of Graham Turner and the team when you went into that first training session? What did you think at the time?
I thought the team was a lot better than the level would suggest. Because sometimes you can think, they're not going to be as good as Championship, but the team was really good. You could see straight from the off that, we've got a good team here.
Yeah.
So that was my first impression.
It definitely showed. I mean, obviously we got promoted that season, but were there any players in that team, that you really thought? I mean, obviously Theo Robinson you knew really well. I suppose that's my question: is what was it like going with him on loan as well? Someone that you knew, so you weren't on your own at a new club.
Made it a lot easier, definitely. I think for both of us to go on loan together, especially the first couple of weeks where you don't quite know the other lads, to have someone that you can bounce off was definitely a lot helpful. And we lived in the same house. So it was me, him, and Lionel all in the house together. So you always had people to bounce off. So it was, really good, really helpful.
Was that house in Hereford, or did you live nearby Hereford? Or
No, in Hereford.
Oh, you lived in it? Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we were in Hereford.
Because my next question was going to be, I mean, it must have felt weird because Lionel then was loaned out to Watford.
Yeah.
After the really famous Leeds United result. I mean, what do you remember of the Leeds United game away at Ellen Road when we won 1-0 in that really famous FA Cup game?
I remember thinking, wow, that's unbelievable, because I don't think many people expected us to go there and win. We knew we had a chance because we were playing well at the time, and we knew we had a good team. So on any day we could cause teams problems, but to actually go there and win, that was a really, really good result.
Yeah. And don't forget, we drew right in front of the Sky cameras. First at Edgar Street, it was 0-0, and then we beat them at Ellen Road. When Lionel left to Watford, how did that kind of work out? Did he have to leave the house? Was he still living there? How did it all work? What was happening behind the scenes?
Yeah, no, he just moved down there. So he just told us that Watford were in for him and he had to go. So we wished him all the best and we had to just carry on.
Did you give him a few tips of where to go and eat and places to avoid?
Nah, I might have done. I can't remember.
Your loan extensions were then to the end of the season then because of that deal. How did it work? Did Grant Turner just say, "Are you willing to stay for the end of the season?" What was he saying?
He literally said to me, "Look, I want you to stay till the end of the season. Like, what do you think?" And it was a no-brainer, really. I was enjoying myself. I was doing well. The team was doing well. There was no reason for me to leave halfway through the season.
Yeah. Do you remember scoring your first professional goal against Bradford in the 4-2 win?
Yeah.
How special was that? Yeah.
Really special. I'm definitely not known for scoring goals. So you had to score in front of your home crowd. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That season, obviously, as we said, we got promoted. At what point did you start to think, okay, we may go up here? We've got a great chance here.
I'd probably say about 2-3 months into the season, started to think we've got a chance of being in and around the playoffs. Because I was thinking we look like we're good enough to be top 6, top 7. And then the longer the season went, you start to think, actually, forget playoffs. We could go up automatic. So, after Christmas, definitely thought, it's possible.
Yeah. And obviously we signed a couple of other lads on loan, Gary Hooper and Katie's favourite, Sergio McDonald. They were fantastic players. They were too good, really, to be honest, as were you and Theo. We made some great loan signings that season. But, how much easier is it when you've got strikers who know where the goal is as a midfielder, How much easier is it for you?
It was a lot easier. And I think I agree with you. They were too good to be there. So the fact that they were there and scoring on a very regular basis, it was almost a certainty. Once you had them to firing, there was no way we weren't going to go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And any particular characters from that year as well?
So that again?
Any kind of characters in the dressing room from that season? I remember people like Trevor Benjamin.
I still see Trev from time to time. Trev was a character.
Yeah.
Clint Easton was a character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Taylor. We had a few. We had a few characters, but
there's a real good team spirit because of that.
Yeah, really good team spirit. There was no clique, so everyone got on with everyone.
Yeah. I guess that's a big part of success, isn't it? If everyone's getting on and everyone's pulling in the same direction, that's half the battle sometimes, isn't it? Obviously we got promoted at Brentford at Griffin Park, 3-0 win. Really, we played so well that day. What are your memories of that? Of those moments of sort of, because obviously if we win that day, we're going to go up. As those goals are going in and as the final whistle goes, what are your memories?
My earlier memories of that was the night before. We didn't get there till quite late.
Oh, right.
So we actually trained in a car park. When I said trained, it was more like a warm-up style in a car park at the hotel. And then on the day, everything just seemed to happen so smooth. It
Mm.
almost seemed easy and destined. Like we were from minute one, we were in control,
Mm.
and there was never any doubt during that game that we weren't going to win. We were very comfortable.
Mm. Yeah, and then obviously the final whistle goes. We've got promoted. The fans coming on the pitch. You know, what was that like? What was that? Because obviously it's your first promotion where you're playing all the
Yeah.
time. You know, what was that? What was that moment like for you?
So very hard to describe because it's almost you don't even know what's happening. You just almost lost for words, and you just pure joy, pure emotions, and you can see like all the fans running onto the pitch, and it's like we all done it. We've all done it together. Everyone really just in a good mood. It didn't matter if you was a player, staff, fan. Everyone had a smile on their face, which
Yeah.
that's what you want, really.
That was like destiny. I mean, I think Brentford has a bit of a theme in your life, doesn't it? I've heard you're a bit of a
Yeah.
legend down there. Did you have a particular favourite game that year from that promotion year? There's so many big games that was a game. Anything that stood out to you?
I'm trying to think what games do that year. I remember we played Darlington at home, and they were in and around us. So that was a very good game. Obviously, Bradford when I scored was a good game. Yeah, they're probably the two, but every game was enjoyable near enough because we hardly lost.
Mm, yeah, it was a joy to watch that season. It really was. So obviously, then season ends. We got to League One. You know what was happening for you personally? Because obviously it ended up in you being released and coming back to Hereford. But how did that timeline happen? What did you do?
I didn't get released.
Oh, you didn't get released. Sorry. Oh, we bought you.
No. So to cut a long story short, I was still contracted to Watford, but
Hmm.
as part of the Lionel deal, Hereford had first dibs on me, sort of
Right.
thing. So Hereford asked Watford to sign me that summer, and I agreed to actually make it permanent.
Ah, right. Okay.
So yeah, that's how it all went about. But yeah, I think there was a little bit of interest here and there, but everything was so good at Hereford that I was like, might as well carry on.
Hmm.
Probably because it's so similar to Paris, I reckon. I think that's what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only the Eiffel Tower missing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's a few pylons, no doubt. But so obviously, then we go into that season. It's always going to be tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, do you think, just sort of before we get into that season, do you think if we'd have kept people like Gary Hooper, maybe even Theo, got him back on loan again, um, and one or two others, do you think we might have had a better chance that season?
100%. I think the team that got promoted from League Two, had we had the same team, I can't see us getting relegated. I can't see us anywhere but top 10, really. That might be wishful thinking on my part, but I think we were that good that we definitely wouldn't have got relegated.
Mm, yeah, and I suppose that's the thing. We had a lot of young players,
Yeah,
who were developing and getting better every year. So, they would have got even better than they probably were the previous year. Yeah. So obviously, we get into that season. As you say, plenty of interest. I think Darren Ferguson wanted you at Peterborough. But how did you find League One? How did you find that step up from League Two?
okay. I didn't think there was much difference. I think the top teams in League Two are probably League One standard.
Mhm.
So I don't think there was much of a change. And plus, I played there when I went to Swindon. So actually, I played in League One 2 seasons prior to that when I was much younger.
Mm.
So to me, it was just another challenge, which I was looking forward to.
You signed a
Yeah.
3-year deal. Did you just stay in the same accommodation? Did any players move in with you that year?
No, I got my own apartment.
Very nice.
Yeah, so obviously Theo went when their liner wasn't there. So I got an apartment in a city centre.
Amazing. And was it really difficult? You've had such a high from the year before, and the morale's probably really low and things like that. Was that really hard to kind of manage because we were bottom of the table for most of the season?
Yeah, it definitely was because obviously the energy is not the same and all the smiles are gone. So it was definitely a lot tougher. But you know, as players, you almost have to try and remove that and just try and perform, try and get 3 points out of it and make them.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely some highlights that season. A couple of 5-0 wins against Oldham and Stockport. I mean, are there any games that season that again stand out for you where you felt like you played really well, or that the team seemed like it was clicking and we might do something?
Not really, if I'm honest. I don't know if it's because we weren't winning as many, but I've got a lot more memories of the season prior
Sure.
than that one. So I think my mind's just deleted that on purpose. I'm just trying to forget.
Why do you think we had such a bad season? Is it because purely that we didn't sign any higher quality players? Like, why do you think it wasn't clicking that year?
I don't know. I think sometimes when you start off winning, winning can become an habit. But I think when you start losing and now all of a sudden we almost lost that we win all the time and you start losing one, losing two, confidence might have been taken out the team and taken out the players, including myself. So maybe we didn't perform as well as what we did because we weren't as confident. Would be a reason.
Yeah. And so then what was it like? I don't want to make you feel too bad, but what was that feeling like? Obviously, we got relegated with a few games to go. How was the mood? Did you all sort of go, well, look, we've got nothing to lose. Let's just go out there and do what we can and have a bit of pride in what we're doing, I suppose.
Yeah, but I think you want to have pride from the start of the
Sure.
season,
Sure.
whether you're relegated or not. We have to try and win games. So the fact that you got relegated, you still have to try and win games. Like you don't want to end the season by losing all the time. So he was just trying to win.
And then obviously we went down, and then that summer, Peterborough United came in. They got promoted to the Championship. How did that all pan out? How did Darren Ferguson approach you?
They approached the club.
Yeah.
So they approached the club. My agent made me aware of it. So I was actually in Paris at the time. So I was just waiting to see what was going to happen. And then I got the phone call to say that a fee's been agreed and they want me to go to Peterborough for medical. So I was pretty much out of it. I was just on holiday visiting families and just waiting on phone calls.
Did Hereford try and persuade you to stay? Did Graham Turner say, if you want to stay, please do stay?
Oh, he definitely didn't want me to go, but he also knew that if I had a chance to go in the Championship, for me, it was probably better than having another season in League Two. So I think it was almost we understand it's better for you to go, so all the best sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity, isn't it? To go and play in the Championship. So absolutely. This is the first time really where there's a proper transfer fee for you. Did you think about that at all? Was there any pressure? Did you feel any pressure about that transfer fee at all?
I still don't know what the transfer fee was to this day. I've never, and any transfer fees, I'd never ask, want to know. I'm not getting nothing from the transfer fees. So to me, it doesn't matter. So I've never paid attention to the transfer fee at all.
Up to the Championship, so you've had a season in League One. What was that level like?
Different. It was definitely a better level. Obviously, you play against better teams, bigger stadiums. So that is definitely a different ball game, which took some time to get used to. But once again, I love a challenge, so I always like to test myself against the best. So it's another one where I was looking forward to.
Yeah. And what was Darren Ferguson like as a manager? Obviously we all see him on the touchline, but what was he like as a manager?
Really good. I have to say he was really, really good. I really enjoyed working with him. And he was probably the first manager who actually used to join in pre-season.
Really?
Yeah, so he used to join in the running, in some of the football and everything. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked him, I have to say.
Yeah, and what was he like in the changing room? Was he, because obviously we all know what his dad is like, did you get the hairdryer at all? And was he that sort of person?
We definitely got the hairdryer a few times, but then there was also a time I can remember we might have lost 3, 4, 5 games on the bounce. And he actually got us in a meeting on a Tuesday. And he said, I want all of you to go to London, have a night out together, and come back on Thursday. And he was like, and then we'll win against Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend. So I want you to go and clear your heads. And we actually all went to London, came back, and won at the weekend. So even though he had the hairdryer treatment, he also had this other side to him, which was helpful at time.
Did Graham Turner ever get a hairdryer?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did at times.
I can't imagine he joined in pre-season.
He was a bit older by then, wasn't he? Yeah. But yeah, so obviously you ended up that season at Brentford on loan. What was the sort of reasoning behind that? Were you just sort of things weren't quite working at Peterborough? How did you feel?
No, things were working really well under Darren Ferguson, and then he got sacked.
Right, okay.
Around Christmas time. So the new manager came in, Mark Cooper, and I wasn't in his plans. So from the moment he walked through the door, obviously he had ideas of what he wanted and what sort of players he wanted. So I wasn't in his plans. So I'm not someone who like to just sit on a bench or not being involved. So I had to go and get some football. And then that's when Brentford came about going down on loan. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and obviously...
3-year deal?
Say that again?
You signed a 3-year deal with Brentford after that season finished? Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, and obviously you liked the place when you were on loan to go back there, and obviously spent 6 or 7 years there, didn't you? But what did you like about Brentford when you went down there? What was special about the place?
It was a family club. It was very much a family club. You could see everyone felt valued and welcome, which is similar to Hereford, really. So I think as a player, when you find these sort of clubs, you tend to gravitate towards them. And after being on loan there for 6 months, I was like, yeah, there's no point me asking my agent to ring other places when I know
that's what you want to do.
I'm in a good place here, so why not stay?
One of your first highlights was getting to Wembley Stadium in 2011 for the Football League Trophy against Carlisle. How special was it getting to Wembley? Obviously, there was the difficulty of getting sent off late on, so it must have been mixed emotions, obviously.
Yeah, definitely mixed emotions, but just to go to Wembley, that was something special. And I remember coming out to warm up, and there must have been 30, 40,000 Brentford fans there in the stadium. That was definitely a big emotion, and it's just a proud moment, I suppose, because Wembley's an iconic stadium. So to say, oh, I've played at Wembley, that was a big thing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sent off, but...
yeah, and he lost the game. But other than that, it was a great experience. Yeah. So obviously, then a little bit later, you got to the League One playoff final. So you're back at Wembley. Was this a more successful journey back to? No, I didn't think it was.
That might have been worse than the first one. I think just for the fact that we were a penalty away against Doncaster in the last second to get promotion. Obviously, we missed that pen, so we had to go through the playoffs, and then to go to Wembley and lose again. That was a painful one.
Yeah, it was.
Some players get overwhelmed with playing at Wembley because it's so big. Do you think players get overawed because it's such a big occasion?
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely say I think it was the Carlisle one. I probably didn't play to the best of my ability. I think because before you go to the game, you've got everyone wants tickets and like it's on TV and you put Sky Sports News on and they're talking about the games. I definitely think sometimes you can play the occasion and not the game. And at the end of the game, you just look back and think, I can't really remember anything. So
yeah.
I don't think that happens, especially if you play in the lower leagues. It's such a big thing to play at Wembley that sometimes you might be too worried about did they get the tickets? I need to get extra 5-6 tickets. But your mind is distracted, whereas on a normal Saturday, you don't have them sort of issues.
Yeah. Do you think you took it in more when you went the second time, when you played the second time, to try and enjoy the experience a bit more?
Yeah, I think the second time was more so business head on, where it was, all right, this is a final. We've just missed on promotion. We have to win. We have to make it happen. So I was a bit more concentrated, I would say.
Was that, you mentioned the Doncaster game, was that the one where the penalty was missed and they went up the other end and scored? Was that that one? Oh, right, okay. Don't want to bring it up again, sorry.
How do you, as a player, how do you actually pick yourself up after such a devastating loss? Like, what is the aftermath like? How do you kind of pick the team up as well?
I think for the next couple of days, everyone was just on a low. There's no words. There's no blame to anyone or anything. It's just, we're all devastated. But then you have to pick yourself up because you've got the playoff semi-finals the week after. So you've got second chance. So then it's just a case of, all right, we missed out on the first chance. We need to make sure we win the playoffs now.
Yeah, and obviously you got promoted that next season, finishing second. What was different about that team? Obviously, you'd have brought a few players in, but what was different about that team, and what made that team just be able to get over the line, apart from scoring penalties, obviously? But
I think it was just that drive, because we missed that, like I said, by a penalty the year before. We didn't want that to happen again. So from day one, it was a case of we want to win the league. So the priorities are changed. Whereas as previously, you want to try and get in and around the playoffs, but that season our mindset was we want to win the league. So there's no if and buts. We have to go all out to try and win the league.
And then the season after, you finished fifth in the Championship. Unbelievable achievement. You're very close to the Premier League again, and then you have another heartbreaking loss to Middlesbrough in the playoffs. I mean, how difficult was that? Was the expectation lower because you kind of were very fresh from League One?
No, actually, it wasn't. I think from the outside, it was. But I remember we went to Florida for 2 weeks in pre-season, and we had a meeting where the manager, we were in groups, and he was asking basically, where do you think we should aim for this season and where would be a good place to finish? And a lot of us were saying mid-table, stay in the league, and he literally stopped us and he said, no, has to be playoff minimum. And he said, we are as good as all them teams in the Championship. And once you boys start to believe that, we will be in the playoffs. We are good at the playoffs. Did I believe it straight away? Maybe not. But as the season unfolded, and after 3, 4, 5 months, start to think actually we are as good as them other teams, so we can make a push for the playoffs. So we weren't, as players on the inside, we weren't surprised because we actually did try and get to the playoffs and then trying to win them.
You know, personally, did you believe you'd make it to the Premier League one day? Was that your aim, like as a personally as a player? Like, what was your kind of game plan as a player?
Yeah, I've always wanted to play as high as possible.
Yeah.
So I was definitely someone who wanted to go and play in a Premier League or in any top division. Whatever league I was in, I wanted to go and play anyone above.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in League Two, I wanted to play in League One. In League One, I wanted to play the Championship. Championship, I wanted to play the Premier League. So I've always tried to push myself to play higher.
Yeah, and that season you were player of the season. And do you know, and obviously that was the supporters that had voted for that. You know, I mean, how does that feel? Do you sort of, is it okay at the time and you sort of just move on, or you know, or is it quite a nice feeling to have the fans think how good you've been that season?
It was a really, really nice feeling because I didn't play the first 6 games, I think, of that season. In the summer, I was told I might have been better off finding another club because of the signing that the club have made. So I don't even think I was on a bench or in the squad the first 4 or 5 games. So to go from that to fast forward to the end of the season to win them awards, it was big, I think, for myself in terms of believing in yourself and not. It was very easy for me to throw my dummy at the prime and, oh, I'm not involved. Whereas, like I said earlier, I was always get your head down, work as hard as you can and see what happens. So to go from 0 to 100, if you like, that was a really proud moment for myself.
Yeah, can imagine.
You moved to Leeds United, another transfer fee. So why did that kind of happen then? So how come you moved up to Leeds?
Because I was meant to move to Glasgow Rangers, which was 99.9% almost agreed. And then I've put in a transfer request, which bad advice. But so then Leeds got wind of it and ended up outbidding Glasgow Rangers. And I think because obviously Mark Warburton being at Brentford previously, I got a green light to go to Leeds, but the red light to go to Rangers after that. So that's how it happened.
And so you mentioned Mark Warburton, sorry. So, I mean, what was he like as a manager? Because obviously you knew him from Watford. Was he? Yeah, he was at Watford, wasn't he? Yeah. What was he like for you? How was he as a manager?
He was very good. He was a very forward-thinking manager, very attack-minded manager, and would really like to play good football. So as a midfielder, really like to play out from the back, and see it was enjoyable brand of football, if you like. And what I really respected and liked about him is, even though I got told in the summer, like I said, I can find another club, or he sent me out on loan to Portsmouth when he first took over. I was playing every game, and then all of a sudden I'm out the squad. So even though I probably wasn't his favourite or the player he wanted to start off with, he never closed the door. The door was always open, which allowed me to work hard and get myself back into the team after loan spells, or after the summer where I got told we've signed over midfielders, you're better off going. He always left that door open, and then for him to want to sign me when he leaves the club, it's like, well, that's the same manager who almost trying to get rid of me twice.
Yeah. I suppose that's it. And I mean, what was it like at Leeds? What, because obviously, it's a historic club. Ellen Road is a historic stadium. It's well thought of throughout the footballing world. What was it like signing for a club like that?
It was an honor.
Mm.
I was proud of it. Like, Leeds United's a big club, so wherever you say Leeds United, we all know how big they are, whether it's here or abroad in France. So it's definitely something that, well, okay, but I wanted to go to Glasgow Rangers, but if that can't happen, Leeds is still a really, really good club. So I was looking forward to it. And yeah, first year was all right. And the second didn't quite go according to plan, but that's football, I suppose.
Some teams, these moves kind of link with moments where you've had special memories with Hereford. Won the league with Brentford. Got promoted at Brentford, not Leeds out in the FA Cup. You obviously worked under Steve Evans. What kind of character was he like? He's got a bit of a reputation in footballing.
Oh, he's a big character.
Yeah.
But I have to say, he's a lot better than what people think.
Mm.
In terms of, he'll do everything for his team. Yes, he might be louder than most managers, but if you are on his side, he will back you and he'll help you. So I enjoyed it, I have to say. I had no complaint with Steve Evans at all.
Your debut for Leeds was against Brentford, wasn't it?
Say that again?
Was your debut for Leeds against Brentford? Your first game? Yeah. That was very strange.
Yeah, that was very strange.
Going up against all your mates,
Yeah, that was a very weird moment in my career, I have to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, as you say, second season at Leeds didn't quite go as you would have liked. But, you had a couple of clubs after Leeds, obviously, sort of bounced around a little bit. Where would you say you enjoyed? I think you were at was it Ipswich? You had Plymouth, Fleetwood, Swindon again, and then Morecambe. What sort of memories do you have of those clubs, and where did you enjoy playing football the most out of those?
I think I had good memories in almost all of them. I think Ipswich was really good when I left Leeds. I had a good spell there. I got injured towards the end of the season. I was out for the last 4 or 5 weeks, which probably impacted why I didn't stay there, because prior to that I was playing near enough every week and performing well. So I enjoyed Ipswich, and then after that I really enjoyed Plymouth. Plymouth and Morecambe will be the two. I really enjoyed Plymouth. Location wise, I had a kid at that time, and so I ended up coming back up north, but really enjoyed Ipswich. And yeah, Morecambe was a breath of fresh air as well. I really enjoyed Morecambe. And obviously got promoted with them as well, which was really good.
What was that like? Obviously, redemption at Wembley.
Third time lucky.
I mean, I suppose that season, that promotion season, how did it compare to the other promotion seasons? Did you feel like you had a good team that could get promoted?
I did, but not as early as the others. But I think in many ways it reminded me of Hereford, where we were kind of the underdogs. No one expected us to be anywhere near the top of the table. So I think got saved by COVID, but the year prior was really tough. So I think to actually start the season well, and you're thinking, okay, so month by month you start to think, wow, we're still in and around it. So to actually achieve promotion was quite big for a club like Morecambe, who I think was probably the first time in League One.
It seemed like that was the club where you had a bit of consistency for a while, probably since Brentford in a way. Would you say, where you had proper kind of good runs of games for a couple of years?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah.
A lot of them were loans or injuries or form. Maybe I didn't perform, but now I felt really comfortable at Morecambe from day one. Obviously, having played under Derek Adams at Plymouth, where I had a really good time. So the reason I went to Morecambe was because Derek Adams was there. So the manager being a familiar face probably helps why I had the run of games and actually had a manager who wanted me rather than a new manager who my style don't fit. So that probably went hand in hand.
Yeah. What was COVID like as a player? How did you keep yourself fit? How did you, because it was not such an odd time for everybody, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But as a footballer, when you've got to be at your peak, what was that experience like for you?
It was strange. A lot of Zoom calls, and obviously you'll get sent programs where you have to go out and do your own running and all that sort of stuff. So it was definitely weird and like horrible times really, because a lot of people lost their lives. So you didn't know where you was really. Are we gonna play? Are we not playing? Are we training? And you see all the bad things happening in the news. So it was quite hard, I suppose, to stay focused on the football because there was a lot of bigger things happening in the world.
Yeah.
In terms of your mindset at that time as well, what were you kind of thinking in terms of your future, like after playing? Were you kind of thinking about that at the time? Did you have any area you wanted to go into?
Yeah, I already knew when I was at Morecambe that I wanted to go into coaching. So I started coaching, well, before Morecambe, where I was helping out at various clubs where I was at, whether it's staying and helping out with the under 10s, under 12s. And so I knew that was what I wanted to do. But I was thinking that might have to come sooner than later.
And what attributes do you think you have that make you, a decent coach? Obviously, you must be a decent coach because you're at a very good club now. What do you think that you have that makes you a good coach?
I think I can relate to the players a lot. And I think because I've been through so many ups and downs and moving countries and not speaking the language, so I think I can reach out a lot more players because some players move from down south to up north and it's completely different. Or foreign players who come to England or players who had bad experiences with managers. I've done it all. So whatever it is, I could probably help in that aspect in terms of relating to the players first and foremost. And then I'd like to think I'm all right tactically too, but definitely relating to the players, I definitely think that's one of my strengths.
Just letting the hair dry from Darren Ferguson as well.
Yeah. Do you
Sorry,
enjoy
go on,
it?
Tom.
Do you enjoy coaching?
Yeah, really enjoy it.
And you moved to Rochdale after that year. What made you kind of retire after that season?
The coaching?
It was the offer, was it?
Yeah, so I applied. I got told by someone at the FA about the job at Middlesbrough because he lives in Harrogate. So he was like, "Oh, it'd be good. Like you should try and apply for that job." So I was like, "Oh, I'll try," because I've got my own football academy here in Harrogate.
Oh, nice.
So I've had it for about 4 or 5 years. So, but I've always wanted to be in the actual academy. So I thought, yeah, I'll try. So I've applied for it, and it probably took 2-3 months with different interviews. And so my mind was, if I get the job, I retire. If I don't get the job, I play. Which, funny enough, and you won't know this, but if I didn't go to Middlesbrough as a coach, there is a 99.9% chance that I would have been at Hereford.
What?
We missed out. We missed out too.
Oh, no. We need a
Look,
midfielder.
that summer, I spoke to Paul Caddis
Mm,
quite a few times. So, and basically what I said to him was, if I don't if I play this season,
mm,
I'll play for Hereford. So
right.
in the end, I ended up getting the job. So I had to say to him, look, I couldn't turn the job down because that's what ultimately I want to be a coach. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity to go into coaching. But if it wasn't for that, I would have been at Hereford.
Oh, you
Wow.
can't commute, no? You can't sort of do both
You're the
things,
boss for
no?
National League North, mate.
Yeah. Oh, that's well, no, I mean that's great. I think, why, other than Paul Caddis talking to you, but why did you feel like you wanted to come back to Hereford?
Because I think that's where it all started, really, for me when I look at my career in terms of when I was at Watford, I was a part of the team, but I was a young lad, not really getting many games. Or was I think when I came to Hereford, that's where I started forging a name for myself.
Mm,
That's where I really became who I was, like playing regularly. And so I think that's where people got to know me more so when I was at Hereford. So to fast forward and finish up at Hereford, I thought would have been a good thing because I had offers from teams in higher divisions than Hereford,
mm,
but I wasn't considering them because actually it'd be good to go back to Hereford.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's incredible. That's
Who knows,
incredible.
teams? Maybe a future Hereford coach one day.
why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Your son plays in the Middlesbrough Academy, doesn't he? Is
Yeah,
he?
it does.
Um, do you? I mean, what position does he play? Is
He's
he
a
up
centre
for
back.
late? How old is he?
He's 15.
15. All right. Well, give him a couple of years and maybe come on loan to come on loan to Hereford. What's it like
Definitely.
having your son in the academy there?
It is strange at times, I suppose, because you have to balance being a coach but also being a dad. So you don't want to be just a dad but you also don't want to be his business and you're just a coach. So you have to try and balance that, which I'm sure I'm not doing it perfectly, but I try to balance it as good as well as I can, really.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask, at any point in your career, were you ever considering moving or playing in France again? Or did you just love England and like playing in these leagues?
No, I'd never actively looked to go back to play in France, but I've never got a phone call to go back and play in France, so I wasn't gonna push to go back. Had someone in France made made the move to try and sign me, then maybe I definitely would have considered it.
Mm.
Whether I would have done it or not, that remains God knows. But it just happened that way. I just happened to stay here.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it'd be interesting if you'd signed for Paris FC. We've got a bit of a connection with Hereford, and so if you'd have gone there, it'd have been sort of like almost like you coming back to Hereford, but also going home
My
and
nephew
playing.
plays for them.
Oh, really?
Oh
He's
wow, that's
in the academy. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
wow, that's
Because obviously
special.
the it's a lovely new ground they've got, isn't it? Right next to the Parc de France. Um, but yeah, just I mean, if PSG had come in for you, maybe you'd have gone. You never know, but
definitely. That's the one. Definite.
yeah, just for the money, if nothing else. Um, so we'll do a few quick fire questions with you, teams. But so who would you say is the best manager you've ever played under?
Mark Warburton.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite ever game that you've played in?
Favorite ever game. That's a tough one. You know what? Top of my head, I'll go Morecambe to play for Wembley because I was really nervous. I didn't want to lose 3 times at Wembley, and I knew it was probably my last time having a chance to play there. So yeah, I'll probably say that one.
Yeah, it's a good option. Yeah. Who's the best player that you ever played against?
JJ Okocha.
Ah,
Yeah,
big
awesome
shout.
player.
Who's the best player you've ever played with?
I'll probably say James Tarkowski.
Nice.
Mhm.
Not Trevor Benjamin.
Close second, Trev.
What would you say your proudest moment in football is?
I'll probably say making my debut.
Mm.
I think a lot of times when I was younger and even at school, you get told, "Oh, there's only 0.1% of the population that can make it." So you hear all this, and I was very adamant that I will be one of that 0.1%. I will play professional. So when that happened, it was almost I was right to believe in myself kind of moment. So I'll probably say my debut.
What is the best goal you've ever scored?
I haven't scored a lot, so I'll probably say Morecambe Doncaster volley from the edge of the box.
Not
Top
bad.
goal. I'll probably say that one. I'll probably
that's
change my
not.
mind later today. I'll probably go and have a look at my goals now.
Yeah. Who's your
Probably
who's your
won't take more than 30 seconds, but
little compilation? You'll be all right. Who's your favourite ever footballer? Who was your idol growing up?
Zidane.
It's not a bad idol, is it?
Nah, 1998 World Cup. Him scoring to the final, and obviously me being in Paris at the time. I'll definitely say Zidane.
Did you try and model your game on him?
I'm sure we all did at the
Apart from the
time.
headbutting, obviously, but
Yeah, but I definitely tried to be technical, not to his standard, of course. But no, he was definitely someone that everyone growing up in France at the time would have looked up to Zidane, definitely.
And as a kid, who was the team you supported growing up?
PSG.
Oh, it's PSG.
Yeah.
Nice.
fair. And final question: what's your favourite stadium that you ever played in?
That's a good question. Perfect stadium. Oh, I'm stuck here now. I've played at a new Tottenham stadium, but I won't class it as the. It's really nice, but
Is it? Yeah.
I think Ellen Road has to be up there, I suppose.
Mm.
Yeah.
I played against them and for them, and it is a good stadium to play in. So I'll probably say Ellen Road.
Yeah, and then second place, obviously Edgar Street. So that's fine. We all knew that. Well, look, thank you so much for your time and for talking to us today, Tooms. Really fantastic, fantastic memories and stories, and what a career! What a career you had.
Yeah, really exciting. Sorry, Tim, just going to say one honour. It's been to chat to you as well. We really can't wait to see how your coaching career goes as well. Really good to see you at Middlesbrough. And as we said, hopefully see you at Hereford one day.
Yeah, hopefully, you never know.
Perfect. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and listening. And we'll see you soon for another interview.
You guys, cheers.